Good evening, Gabby.
Good evening, TC. Welcome all to Terry Currans' weekly football podcast. Steady away, son. Episode 205, by the way, today.
It's incredible, isn't it, when you think about it?
Yeah, it is.
205.
We have spoken, we have talked about so many issues, so many magic moments, so many books.
It still gets us nowhere.
Well, I mean, you're absolutely right, T. No one listens to us.
We may have to turn woke.
But this is the thing with the podcast, T. We don't do it for any other reason that we enjoy an hour a week talking about football, tackling the big issues, looking at the magic moments, because we will say things on our podcast that others will not dare to say.
Correct.
I thought you were fantastic, by the way, on the Proper Football podcast on Sunday. A wonderful week. It got on to about an hour and a half. They enjoyed it so much. I spoke to Gary last night at length. He was absolutely elated, and he loved your Brian Clough impressions as well. It was really got him giggling. Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I mean, I played against Cali a couple of times, and we were on holiday together. Well, I was out there with a few Everton lads, and he was out in Rhodes at the same time. And we got up singing, in a bar, me and Cali. We both must have been pissed then, I think. Well, was he I wasn't even drinking, but he must have been.
Was he a good singer, Cali? Was he as good at singing as football?
He's not bad at all, yeah.
Because he was a damn good footballer, wasn't he?
Yes, he was a good footballer.
Proper old-fashioned winger.
Yeah.
You know, unlike what you see today, although we are going to touch upon England a little bit later in the podcast, I did like the way that Luke Carsley played with wingers, Madueke and Anthony Gordon. So hopefully the good times are coming back with wingers, because I don't think there's a finer sight in football than a winger going past his fullback and getting the ball into the box.
Or any player from midfield or as a striker inside forward, whatever way you want to look at it. See someone run with the ball and go past someone.
Yeah.
Not only does it, it pulls people out of positions, it frightens the opposition to death.
Yeah, it does. And also, as well, you're being turned. The defenders then are facing their own goals rather than if they're standing there facing and you're just pass, throwing a long ball in.
Once that play goes past someone, like you said, you've got them turned.
Yeah.
Then someone else has got to come out of position.
Of course they have.
That leaves someone free.
And that's the best way of creating space, by taking someone on and making something happen. So many players have took players on and made things happen in the magic moments, TC, this week. The Gary Shaw magic moments, because we do put Gary's name to the magic moments, a legend of the game, and we want to keep his name in our football podcast. Went to school with Gary, great lad. He was a few years older than me, but a tremendous player who produced so many magic moments for whatever football team he played for. So what have you sourced for us this week, sir?
It's Swindon's
Great
Daniel
Butterworth. Danny Butterworth.
Butterworth, yes. Daniel Butterworth.
What a goal.
Unbelievable.
It was, wasn't
it? Yes, it's a fourth division game or a Championship 2 game. But if that had been Messi, I'm not comparing him to Messi one little bit.
No.
But, that's what Messi or Ronaldo would do, wouldn't they?
Yeah, they would do, yeah.
They pick it up deep, run with it, play a 1-2, great ball in, pass in, didn't panic on the ball, a couple of dummies, boom, and slides it in. Absolutely, I could watch that for a week and still think, what a great goal that was.
But again, this is what football is about, producing magic moments.
Getting you off your seat.
It is, isn't it? And then you want to watch that game. And, not that game again, because you can't watch the game again. Well, you can on the highlights, because everything now is on YouTube. So that is the nice thing. You can go to YouTube or Swindon Town's official Twitter or Facebook account and keep watching it over and over again. But next time that you see Swindon, if they may be on the telly or you're looking through your YouTubes, you'll have a look and see if Danny Butterworth can replicate what he done. Yeah, because it was just so magnificent. And I love that dummy, like you say, because he's like gone to shot, fine, dummy. He sat him on his arse, and then he's took it a little bit further, and he's just stuck it in the bag. But
He sent two defenders into
magnificent.
boots.
He did, didn't he? I mean, they had to pay to get back in. I mean, it was fantastic, and again, this is what football is all about: producing those magic moments.
Yeah.
And that's what we like
What
to
you'll
talk
go
about.
down, that's a goal. You go into the pub with lads and your mates, and you just say, what a goal that was today.
Yeah.
You know, and it was a fantastic goal.
Yeah, I mean, I've never heard anybody go and say, do you know what, that was a fantastic throw-in, wasn't it? Or that back pass was... Do you remember the goalkeeper? He played out from the back and he got great feet, that goalkeeper. No, we don't talk about anything other than the magic moments of the game, because that's what we pay our admission money to be entertained. And if you're going to bore us... I mean, what I do when I'm watching a live game, if I find it boring, I turn off and I watch Netflix. Because I'm not watching... Yeah.
I want to see goals. I want to talk about goals.
Yeah.
I want to see an entertaining game. I want to talk about anything. I don't want to talk about defensive play.
Absolutely.
Because if you get good defenders,
which is good, good on the defenders,
you don't have to worry about it. You have to.
Yeah.
You don't have to. Swamp your defence with the players behind the ball. Because you've got defenders what can defend.
Absolutely. How many fans in the history of football have really ever gone to watch a defender play football? I don't know.
That's a good question. But you know as well as I do, everybody wants to see attacking players.
Of course
they do.
Yeah.
Make no mistake.
100%.
But if you've got a great goalkeeper, you'll keep an eye on him.
Yeah, of course you
will.
will.
Want to see him.
Yeah.
I remember McFarland had taught Anthony and Lawrenson.
Great players.
I could watch them play because they're great defenders.
Yes.
They weren't going to get the ball, and you'd hear managers in dressing room say, "Don't take any chances today, lads. Put it into Rosette."
Yeah.
Where Anthony and McFarland taught Lawrenson, them type of players would never do that. Kid at Ipswich, not Butcher, the other one.
Kevin Beattie.
Yeah, but he had to finish early. The other one played with him.
Played alongside Russell Osman.
Yeah. Another one.
Mm.
You could watch them play with coming out with the ball, knowing they're not going to panic and they're not, and at times they would put it in Rosette.
Yeah, if they needed to.
But majority of the time they wanted to play football.
Absolutely, too.
So I get where you get. It's always going to be forwards and midfield players. I get that. You're 100% right.
You actually pay money.
But when you see those good defenders, the Maldinis of this world and Berezes of this world, you think, unbelievable. Don't sell himself. Don't panic. Don't put it in Rosette. Fantastic. So you just want to see good quality players and a good quality team.
Of course you do. You pay money to actually hope that your defensive players don't get the ball. You do. I mean, you do that. If I'm a Blues fan, I go down Birmingham. I don't want my defenders to get the ball. I want my forwards because I want to see Birmingham attack. So I'm actually paying to watch my defenders not get the ball. When we're under pressure, I'm hoping that my defenders do the job properly and then bring the ball out of defence.
When you had
not all
Francis,
the time.
Majority of the fans wanted Francis to be on the ball all the time.
Of course they did, yeah. And we had some decent players.
Had Robertson, they wanted him on the ball. When United had Charlton Bestlaw, they wanted them on the ball.
Yeah. And again, but nobody's saying that they didn't have good defenders, because they did. But we didn't go to watch the defenders play. We hope that defenders didn't have the ball, because we hope that them players in more offensive positions had got the ball, were attacking the opposing sides and trying to score goals for our team. Because that's what we watch football for.
You're not going to be panicking about, are we going to make a mistake here? Like goalkeeper, if you've got a great goalkeeper, he's going to save his 10, 15, 12 goals a season.
Absolutely.
And that's what fans look at.
Of course they do. Of course they do. You build your team on a solid back four, and as I say, you hope that your back four actually don't get called into action much.
A good back four will turn around and say to the other players,
go and play.
Get out of our way.
Exactly.
Don't get under our feet.
Yeah.
Get yourself in areas. I'll get it, and then I'll give it to you.
100%. My magic moments was Curtis Jones' goal for
Great
England
goal
against. I mean, that was just a stroke of genius.
Yeah.
Again,
great. Absolutely sublime.
I watched that goal. I watched the move, and I saw the goal, and I got up and I applauded it. That's what I want to watch England produce. That kind. I want to see England players playing without fear, playing with flair, taking players on.
I thought both games
played
without fear. People going on about, but Ireland did nothing but get everybody behind the ball. He opened up when he got sent off, the kid.
They
And
are,
he's got to go because it's his second buckle of
of course
offence.
it is. Of
I
course
don't
it
want to
is.
see anybody get sent off.
No, but
Well, what good does that do Ireland, getting everybody behind the ball?
we've said this, and I said it at the top of the show.
What do they learn out of it?
Absolutely nothing to, but we've been saying this for years. People don't listen and they don't clip us.
And the other prime example, when you're watching a game,
Mm.
I even in my two sons will turn around and say, throw the ball into the box. What's the point in
No
throwing the
point.
ball in the box for it to get cleared and counter-attack you?
Absolutely, there's absolutely no point in
know,
throwing the ball.
Don't throw it into the box. You've got to be able to find a man in there what can, either get a shot off or get an end of it goal.
So you've got a goalkeeper, you've got 10 players that are playing out, and you've got a few of your players. So you're going to throw the ball into the box. Law of averages says that they're going to win it. You are in their half, and as you say, you're going to get countered. Don't throw the ball in the box when they're playing that way. You've got to play it with a bit of tempo and take players on and draw players out of position. But if teams, and we've said this before on the podcast, if teams want to play like cowards, and they are, because if you put all your men behind the ball...
I don't think teams want to play like cowards.
No, again...
That's down to the coach.
Yeah, I agree. It is down to the coach, but ultimately, that's the way that the teams play, because the coach and the manager sets them up. But
listen, Gabby, the problem is, and I keep telling you all this, 9 of them players want to play week in and week out.
Yes.
And they will go by the manager's orders.
100%.
Right? Now, you'll get the odd, they're not maverick, you'll get the odd star in the team, what will play, and he's hoping that his game's always going to be on. Because he knows if he makes a mistake, he's going to get a right slaughtering from the manager about it. But he's that type of person what's going to win you the game.
100%. Absolutely. But if you set out like that, and we see it in the Premier League, largely when teams play against Manchester City or, playing against the better sides, get that. We've seen it in the Nations League with the San Marinos of this world that come to England, put all their men behind the ball. Now they've got the Nations League and San Marino are in their correct league for their ability. They're actually going forward, playing football, scoring goals and winning games.
Yeah, so, and entertaining at their level.
Absolutely. So if all that you can do is set your team out to defend, you are in the wrong level of football.
How can they counter-attack when they've got everybody behind the ball?
It's impossible.
I don't like to see sideways and backwards all the time.
Yeah.
But the teams pull everyone behind the ball and the striker behind the ball. The striker's got about as much chance of scoring goals as anybody winning lottery.
Absolutely.
So who wants to play for an international team like San Marino if you're going to play that way? Who wants to play for a Newcastle team under a Benitez?
Yeah.
And a Bruce, what's going to play everybody behind the ball and say, oh, well, we ain't got the players. Well, improve them.
Exactly.
Improve them.
And if you haven't got the players, drop down to play in a league at the level that you can actually play, and you don't play a cowardly game. And this is why I enjoy the Nations League, because the better nations are in Group A. Then the other nations, like England, we got relegated under Southgate. A lot of fans keep forgetting that.
You never hear the media talk about that, do you?
No, you don't. And I have a bit of a to and fro with your mate John this last couple of weeks, and I'm just saying.
Well, he's a reporter.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is...
I know, listen, I agree with you.
Yeah, Southgate...
I agree with you.
...got us relegated. We don't hear that. We don't hear balance, and this is what we like to give, is balance. So Carsley has got us promoted. He's got us back into the top groups that Southgate got us relegated from. So if you're going to eulogise about Southgate and tell us that he got to 2 semi-finals and a final, you've also got to factor in he got us relegated. You can't just have the bits that you want to take and ignore the other bits that you don't want.
League.
Absolutely. 100%.
Right? And you could turn around and say, "Oh, right, well, he didn't play his usual first team players." Well, neither did Carsley.
No, and Lee never moaned. If Southgate's got some injuries when he did, first thing he'd do, he'd talk about the injured players. He'd almost try and justify if we actually didn't win, it was down to the fact that he hadn't got his top heads playing football.
What about
Carsley
his
didn't
best
do that.
point ever? We haven't replaced Calvin Phillips.
Unbelievable. I'd have sacked him there and then after that. Unbelievable. We've not had no double pivot since Lee Carsley took the job. We've played with 3 midfield players. None of them are central defensive midfield players. They're 3 midfield players, and we've played football. I don't hear the press now saying you don't need a central defensive midfield. Of course you don't need. You need someone to get the ball from the defenders. We're not stupid.
The ones that knock it, they're knocking it, but they're not looking at it and analysing.
Of course they don't.
The other team is getting everybody behind the ball.
Yeah.
And they're the ones, shouting.
Yeah.
Like the pundits were told to, is throw the ball into the box.
It's almost as though they're all brainwashed.
What's the point of throwing the ball into the box?
Pointless.
Unless you can get, a player on it what's going to get a shot off.
Yeah.
Or a player on it what can get an head of it goal.
Absolutely. They listen to the media, they read what is written in the written press, and they're brainwashed. And in this podcast, we don't do brainwashing. We look at football. We don't do stats. I mean, okay, there are stats, and you go, okay, fair enough. But you can make stats into anything. I don't do stats. I look at football, and I judge it on the way I feel when I've watched a game of football or watched a player. And if I felt good, I'll watch that player or that team again. If I don't watch it. Because if they bore me, I just don't bother tuning in and watching them. And then the other one, James Berry's goal for Chesterfield against Harrogate Town.
Yeah.
What a goal. And what a chip as well, too. Absolutely sublime. Again, if that would have been Eric Cantona, in his age, when he done it, I know it is.
They're a funny team, Chesterfield.
Yeah, they are, aren't they?
They get some great results, and then they will get, they get beat by bloody Arrogant.
I know, it's
but like you said, you look at it, it got arrogance about that goal.
It was brilliant, wasn't it? Absolute brilliant. And that's, again, I don't want to keep going on and ratting around the same hole, but that's what I watch football for. I love to get onto the EFL Facebook page and see their 5 best goals of the week and go down and see other goals that haven't quite made it to the top 5, because there are just some sublime goals being scored all over the football pyramid. But sadly, when you tune into mainstream media, you don't hear anything about those players, those goals. It's all Premier League or top league of international football. But we add balance to this podcast, as do the Proper Football podcast. It's about balance, and it's about talking about football and a love of football. And I did notice, and I did post up, and I think you're going back on to, because there was so much to talk about. But Al Busico is not this Saturday, but next Saturday. Stourbridge versus Hales Owen Town. I mean, for people that don't know, Al Busico, the number 9 derby, it's feisty, it's tasty. It's Stourbridge versus Hales Owen, and it's going to be a cracking game of football.
They don't have to take some fans away with them, don't they?
I know, 1,400 to Kiddie. Okay, it's not that far down the road, to be quite truthful, and it was in the FA Trophy. I get that, but Hales Owen take a right few. Yeah, they are. Hales Owen take a right few wherever they go, week in, week out.
Alan get a great support,
Yeah.
They get between 6, 8, and 1,000 people on a good day.
And you look at the level and the tier of football that they're in, to attract that amount of fans is incredible.
I think people are getting sick of being ripped off.
Yeah, they are, yeah. Yeah.
And at least at that level, you do see some of the early burly football, don't you? You know what I mean? Some tackles and
you do.
And what have you.
You see proper football, don't you, too?
So it's, I go watch Jock's team, and I do enjoy it. I do enjoy it.
Yeah. And also, you'll pay, I don't know, maybe 10, 12 quid. I mean, I haven't been for some time to Hales Owen.
I get pensioners, right?
Yeah, of course you would, yeah.
£3, I think it is.
I mean, it is great, though. But,
I think it's £6 for,
yeah, yeah.
adults, and
Mm.
I don't know what it's for kids, but £3 for pensioners.
I'm sure it's 10 quid at Aylesowing, and you can go in the bar at the Grove and you can have a couple of pints, and you go and watch the game. You can have a burger, and you can have a proper burger that's not cremated. It's got onions on, or if you don't like onions, it isn't. You can have an hot dog. You can have a multitude of things. I love looking at these Facebook posts of food at football games. I mean, some of the pictures of food, especially like in the Premier League, you look at it, you go, dear me. And I know it's not the football clubs because it's all franchised out, isn't it? And different people have the catering accounts at football grounds. But some of the stories and some of the pictures you see leaves a lot to be desired. Football absolutely rips off the fans, and nobody seems to be doing anything about it. It's disgraceful. You wouldn't treat any other customer, and I hate the word customer, but a fan actually is a customer of a football club. If you went as a customer to a pub and you were served that shit on a plate, you would be going absolutely
Without me
ballistic.
putting some people, I've got a brother what'll eat me shit, I think. He buys hot cheap stuff at supermarket. And I have to laugh at him. He said to me, well, you got that one when we were kids. I said, you might have had it, but I didn't eat it.
But to think that they actually serve you that, and some of the, I mean, I'd love to see accompanied with the picture of the food, the person's face that's actually seen what's been served up to him.
I love
About
chicken
£6.5
legs,
quid.
or
Yeah,
chicken wings.
yeah,
I do
love
love them.
Yeah,
and I stopped eating at. I didn't eat them a lot, but I stopped eating at what are called those places?
Big John's.
Burger. What? No,
Kentucky Fried Chickens.
Yeah, Kentucky.
Yeah.
And I went in once and I said, can I have a box of chicken legs, wings, or whatever? He said, oh, no, you got to have mix. I said, I'm going to pay. If I went in a restaurant, asked for a steak, and they fetched me a burger, I've got to eat a burger, I wouldn't have it. I said, so just forget it. So that's as bad as going to a football match. You ask for a hot dog, you get a hot dog.
So you asked for chicken wings and they wouldn't give you chicken wings?
No, they had to mix. They've got to mix them up. They said, and I said, well, forget it. I don't want it.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, blimey, I ain't being funny, mate, but you got hundreds of chicken pieces in there. If I want 3 drumsticks, can't have 3 drumsticks. No, I've got to mix it up. I forget it. Unbelievable. It is absolutely ridiculous, isn't it? I mean, somebody.
Yeah, but we don't seem to bother about being ripped off.
No, we don't. We just take
they
it, don't we?
complain about it, but they still go and do it.
Yeah. But again, you've gone, right, okay, I don't like what your policy is. I want wings. You ain't going to give me wings, so I ain't going to buy. What do you want? I don't want nothing. I want any wings. I'm going to go. I ain't going to come back again. Yeah. But again, some people go, oh, all right, then I'll have two breasts and a drumstick. Oh, it is. It's unbelievable, Jeff. What else is
Scammy would say.
Absolutely. What else is unbelievable? Swindon's training ground is haunted.
Oh, Gabby, that's done for publicity. That.
Of course it is.
I know he knows Holloway better than his wife does.
Yeah.
There's ghosts at the ground. It's haunted. That's all done for publicity.
Of course it is. It's absolutely ridiculous, isn't it? I mean, it is just laughable. But again, there are some grounds.
If you're going to concede goals, you're going to lose games.
Of course you are, yeah.
Right, and if you don't create chances and you don't score goals, and that you don't get a better goal than that one. What they scored at Accrington Stand, that was good football. Superb. Brilliant. To make excuses that the ground is near a cemetery. Somebody's put a curse on the ground. Do me a favour. All that is publicity.
It's the training ground in it that's cursed, not the actual football ground.
It's near a cemetery, according to form.
Apparently so.
I've been reading about it all.
I know. I mean, there are some football grounds. I mean, Birmingham. I mean, again, whether you believe it or not. I mean, I don't. I just think you've just played bad football over the years, and that's why you haven't won anything.
Exactly, and you haven't got either good manager or you've got a bad team.
Yeah, it's got nothing to do with. I mean, Birmingham for years it was like Birmingham won nothing because there's a gypsy's curse. No, we've won nothing because we're not very good. It's got nothing to do with the gypsy's curse. And in 19, what was it, 70? 79, 80 season, round about that time when Saunders, no, it was further than that, wasn't it? He left Villa in 1982, so it would have been 82 when Saunders come to Brummagem, February 82. I remember he had the floodlights. There was a crucifix on the floodlights round at St Andrews, and the players had the soles of their boots painted red. I jest you not. And that's what Saunders. They had a gypsy, Madame Rosina, come into St Andrews to lift the curse. It made a scrap of fucking difference, has it? I mean, 82, they're still no
But
good.
listen, but people believe it, don't they?
Of course, Barry Fry pissed in all the corners. It don't make no difference. They're just not very good. It's not a curse. Oh, and then when they was developing the St Andrews and Villa Park, it was quite a story round it on local media because they're all desperate for stories. Apparently, a
Well,
Blues
it's a
fan.
better headline, isn't it?
Yeah, well,
It's a better headline. Swindon were pathetic, and Holloway picked a pathetic team. That's a better headline to see. The training ground is cursed. That's why we're getting beat.
Absolutely. But apparently some Blues fan took a brick from the Tilton and put it into the Old End, and that reversed the curse. Yeah, of course he did. Villa now almost top of the Champions League, tearing up in the Premier League. Yeah, they do look as though that curse has been reversed. Let's talk about England for a bit, TC. The Nations League. I am a big fan of the Nations League. I think that the Euros and the World Cup, as they're extending both tournaments, all the top sides should get a free pass to the finals because ultimately you want to see the best players
You
in
want to see
these
the
tournaments.
best players, the best teams.
Absolutely.
And not any of this absolutely
Yeah. So
pathetic football.
yeah, so send all them to the finals, and then all the qualifications are with the little minnow teams, and then you've got to make the numbers up if you want it, from 32 or 36, or expand it to how FIFA and UEFA want it.
Improve your team.
Yeah.
If you're any good, you'll get to the major tournaments.
Of course you will, absolutely.
But you're not going to get to the major tournaments by playing defensive football.
Of course you're not. And San Marino ain't going to get to a major tournament by playing in the same group as, say, England and Poland and Italy and then San Marino. But if they're playing qualifications in their own groups like they are in the Nations League, they've got a better chance when they're extending.
Oh, did they play Liechtenstein, didn't
Liechtenstein,
they?
yeah.
Luxembourg.
No, Liechtenstein, wasn't it?
Right. Those two attacked each other. I'm not saying we're great football, but they attacked.
Of course they did, yeah. Because they're both playing at that level.
Sitting there watching two teams defend.
Exactly, yeah. And again, when you get to the Nations League, the Group A's, and this is why I like it. I think England should be playing against the likes of Germany, the likes of Spain. I'd like to see them play against Scotland and Wales in the home internationals. So you look at how many international games you're going to play in a calendar year. No more than 10. So you play your Nations League, you play your home internationals, you play Argentina, Brazil or Chile or whoever. That's it. We don't play these meaningless friendly games, these meaningless qualification games against minnows where, a player can score 3 or 4 goals. Pointless. Go back to when football was proper.
Do you know what we'd have been talking about now? What press would have been talking about? Gareth Southgate's taking us back into the elite squad of Nations League. That's what they've been talking about still.
Oh, God, absolutely. Don't think they talked anything about Luke Carsley doing it, though, did they?
No. Well, he didn't sing national anthem, so
a
lot of people hold that against him.
Yeah.
People don't want to sing anthem. That's okay.
100%.
Other people do.
Yeah. Cole Palmer.
People are royalists, some people are not.
Absolutely. I was watching the game and Cole Palmer never sang the national anthem. I've not heard one media muppet, because that's all they are. They're a load of puppets. Not one media muppet say anything about Cole Palmer not singing the national anthem. But that's entirely up to him. If he wants to focus, he wants to get in the zone, if he wants to just concentrate on what's going on, because all players prepare in different ways, that's entirely up to him. But don't slag off Lee Carsley because he's not singing the national anthem and making a song and a dance out of it. The media are nothing more than controlled muppets.
He looked confident in his management skills. He looked confident, against the opposition. I know they weren't the great opposition what we played in that,
Agreed.
tournament, but he went out to try and win a game.
Absolutely. And he changed the system as well, too.
Yeah.
And he changed the players. And he gave debuts to players. And they scored goals on the debut. I mean, everybody...
And to listen to the rest of this podcast, head on over to www.patreon.com/SRB Media. Thank you. And don't forget to follow or subscribe on the podcast platforms Apple, Spotify, Amazon and YouTube. And you'll then be informed when a new episode is available. Thank you.